but they were like, almost hidden because people.
Who are you thinking about? Who are you thinking about? Who made good films?
In the 80s?
Yes.
I think Panosopoulos made some good films, and also Nikolaidis and
Vulgaris. Tonya Marketaki.
Yeah.
She died. She and
Frida Lapa died, yeah.
There
were women trying to make movies in Greece, of course. It was not easy.
There were people that were doing good films, but at the same time there were people that were doing like this kind of fake, personal, very, very intellectual films so the other people that were doing good art house films, they were somehow, what I want to say is that the audience didn't want to go anymore because they made a reputation of the films being so personal. You can't really get them if you're not the person. So it was like, they were making fun of the films at some point, which good filmmakers had to pay this price too.
I mean, yeah, actually one of the curses of Greek art in general, and that's not just limited to cinema, is like overly allegorical, overly symbolic stuff that is very thick and not necessarily very deep. So, that's kind of a curse that we're trying to get out of.
But is there something you can actually connect with in Greek film history? Is there something that you think, okay, this is a cinema, this is an idea, this is a kind of worldview that I've got something to do with? I mean...
to me, yeah. Nikos Papadakis.
Who also spent most of his time...
Yeah, so he's another outsider.
Yeah.
Definitely the first 5 films of Angelopoulos.
Yeah.
I think they're masterpieces.
Yeah.
And very also important in terms of documenting and immortalizing a very, very explosive Greek moment in history. There is this film by Panosopoulos called Mania. It's like rage, or I don't know how to... Mania. Yeah, Mania. Phobos.
Yes. But again, another outsider. He only made 3 films and then was so disgusted with the situation that he stopped filmmaking.
I think we need to pass out a list afterwards with all these films.
Gladly. Download all of these from the internet.
Do they exist?
I guess so.
Yeah, this would be actually my question. The reason for you people to why you came here. What were you curious about when you came here?
We are sneaky. We are turning the tables now.
Because I think it will help also for the answers.
Good afternoon. I try to break the ice, and for me it's a good opportunity to learn about people who are really creative, but where we have no access, particularly in Switzerland nor in Germany. So my first question to you is to understand, are people not more willing to go to cinema in Greek? Is cinema dying? What I learned from you now, it's more or less an underground position. You are creating from an underground position. You are sometimes referring to a new wave, but every film is a big battle. So I understand you have no infrastructure, you have no positive distributor looking to your films to sell the film to the cinemas. You have difficult cinema owners who do not like your films. Is this situation shaping? Some people prefer to watch mainstream TV commercials, and What is the price of the battle? Is this rewarding for you? From where do you take all this power? You see, it needs power to create, to finish a film.
Look,
so it's many questions. Huh?
Yeah, but actually it's one. We don't need to forget the whole context. Okay, the whole context is that Greece is a small country. Okay, 9 million people. Cinema in Greece actually born after World War II. Okay, I mean there are some countries they invent cinema. Okay, like Italy, Russia, America, the States. Here in Germany it was in Switzerland, but. Okay, in Germany it was the German Expressionism. Okay, great cinema. Okay, in the start of the century. We don't. It's wrong to forget this context. And in the other, and from the other hand, it's the great American pressure in the cinematographies of all countries. Okay, I mean it's not easy to make a product of your own, maybe cinema, and to survive because. Cinemas are playing American movies. TV is playing American movie. Everybody grows up with American cinema, American movies. A certain kind of images. There's a whole system worldwide. Inside of this picture, a little country like Greece tries to find an identity, an artistic identity, to express itself. Through cinema, through literature, through poetry, through paintings.
And it's also a difficult situation anyway now in Greece. I mean, the financial situation, the political situation and everything, it's very difficult. So you can imagine that this reflects on how difficult it is to get some money to make a film.
And I remember myself, I was come here 20 years ago with a small film in Munich. In a festival in Munich. And the same problem, that time, it was the same problem in Germany. I mean, Germans don't see German cinema, actually. Everywhere it was American films. Okay, if big countries have like Italy also. Okay, Italian people doesn't see their films anymore.
For them, believe me.
Yeah, so I mean, somehow it is maybe it's not really a conflict, but to get the audience is the challenge. First to make the film, but then also be able to reach an audience. And then you will see if they like the film or not. But even first to have the opportunity to reach the audience. Yeah. Because I see like in Greece, there is commercial films. Argyris did one before that, let's say, where they have a certain structure, let's say comedies. There are movies that
was a studio film. I mean, studio films, especially if they're somehow good in what they have to be. It's easier to reach the audience because there's this whole system of multiplexes and promotion and having money and everything to support it. Now we're talking about our films and which are like more personal, more like other kind of films, not films made out of a recipe.
So like there are different films in Greece. You have the recipe films, then you have these films that are made by people that they are really honest about trying to express something. And we were talking actually yesterday about it. It's really interesting. The big challenge is to make a popular film that is authentic and that is truthful, but still has the potential to reach a broad audience. So that is still this is the challenge for all of the people in a way that sit here. If you are not just satisfied by having a small audience of maybe, I don't know, 10,000 people.
Make it to the audience. I mean, they managed to find a broad audience. I don't know. Maybe the situation is.
Yeah, but you don't want to see those films. Believe me.
Just to complete my question, so you have not, as we have here in Switzerland, you have these mainstream cinemas, and we have these art houses who are specialized, smaller cinemas with very typical, specific films, difficult films. So art house cinemas are not existing in Greece.
Of course, they do exist.
Yeah?
Yes.
This is your playground, I imagine.
Yes.
Yeah.
More or less.
Yeah.
But you don't find this necessarily satisfying.
Not really. I mean, we would. Everyone who's making a film would like to reach a broader audience than just these few thousand of people that are going to go to the art house film anyway, because they're curious and that's what they're interested in, and they love art house films. I mean, every time you make a film, you want to speak to more people.
A question on my part.
Excuse me, which doesn't mean that the more people the film talks to, the better the film is, of course. But at the same time, we all have this passion of getting to more people. Our ideas are, our aesthetics are whatever is, the ingredients of your films.
One question on my part, because all of you were talking about the particularities of the spaces that each of your films is basically, let's say, observing or set in, quite simply. Do you think that you actually build your films from your spaces? I mean, from the parts of the cities that you film, from even this guarded city that you made your film in. Were these basically key inspirations for you, or did you have other ideas and set them only in these, let's say, spaces?
Although I don't consider Attenberg as what we call like only a Greek film. And in general, I don't really think that national cinemas are cinemas that address only the particularities of a certain milieu or a certain nation. I think Attenberg wouldn't be Attenberg if I hadn't shot it in this ghost town that to me represented the end of an era in Greek psychogeography.